Two young boys were playing around at their local pool in the summer of 2012 when they noticed that they looked very similar. So, the boys left and dug some holes. And what they found out would make a big difference in their lives forever. Isaac Nolting is a 17-year-old boy from a little place called Washington in Missouri. He lives with his mom named Dawn and he grew up with his sister named Krystyn, who is older than him. Isaac's older sister left to start her own family, but in 2012 Dawn had to take care of two people's meals. Dawn worked as a manager at a dry cleaning company to take care of her cherished children. Dawn had a problem during school break because she had a job that needed her to work all the time. She had difficulty keeping 12-year-old Isaac busy and behaving during the summer vacation. So, Dawn got a pool pass for the kid to use at the nearby Agnes Nolting Aquatic Complex. She didn't know that someone else nearby had the same idea. Dawn thought Isaac could chill with his friends and swim to stay cool. This is what the kid was doing at the pool in June 2012. Isaac was playing with his friends when an older boy joined in their game. Isaac and the new person were having fun splashing water at each other. The new boy was called Dakota Zimmer. Dakota was 13 years old and lived in Augusta, Missouri, which was close by. In 2012, he talked with Today about when he met Isaac for the first time. He remembered, "I kept throwing water at him. He said, 'Why are you moving backwards?' and had a face that showed confusion. Isaac kept joking around and saying his friend was afraid. Isaac's friends noticed that they were playfully teasing each other. One of them, a boy named Jaden, said that the two were fighting like they were brothers. That's when the two boys looked at each other carefully for the very first time. Isaac believed that he looked like Dakota in a lot of ways. But his mom never mentioned any family member she isn't close with, so he didn't think much of it. However, Dakota had a different experience. His grandmother told him he had a brother he hadn't seen in a while. Dakota started to wonder if he had found the person he was looking for. "I see Isaac and think he looks a bit like me," he said to Today that he was getting curious. So, Dakota started telling his new friends at the pool about his brother who was a mystery. The boy said that a lady named Dawn took care of his younger brother when he was very young. Isaac said, "That's my mom's name," but he was unsure. Isaac was curious about Dakota's story because it seemed too coincidental. That evening, the boy asked his mom a question while they sat together. He never expected to ask his mom this question. One that Dawn never wanted to hear. Isaac wanted to find out if she became his mom when he was a small child and couldn't remember it. "I asked my mom. I told her to sit on her bed and then I asked her," Isaac later said to Today. His mom immediately responded. She asked Isaac why he thought that. He said he met his older brother and the adoptive mother had to tell him the truth. Dawn told Isaac that she had chosen to be his parent in a very emotional conversation. Also, she had been struggling with how to tell him the news for a long time. She said in 2012 to a local news website called the Missourian that she didn't know how to tell him. "I didn't know the ideal moment. I asked specialists and family members for advice, but I was still unsure of when to do it." Dawn had no choice but to tell the truth because of what happened. She said to Isaac that she met his real mom at a restaurant when she was dating a friend of her former husband. The pair asked Dawn to visit and see their new baby boy. Dawn told Isaac that when he was born, his biological mom already had a baby named Dakota who was 13 months old. Dawn said she was finding it hard. Isaac's mom was only 16 years old. Dawn, who had been a teen mom too, understood how difficult it was. So, Dawn said she would take care of the 9-day-old baby, and Isaac's mother said yes. Dawn told Isaac about how he ended up living with her and Krystyn when she was 12. Dawn said his birth mom would call to see how he's doing and sometimes come to visit. Later, when Isaac was 1.5 years old, Dawn formally became his parent by adoption. Isaac's real mother died in 2007 and his father died a year later. This means that his brother Dakota and little sister Ashley are living with their real grandmother, Debbie Bay. Actually, Isaac's close family was brought up by their grandmother who lived a short distance away from Washington and could be reached by car. The brothers and sisters never met before, but they did recently. Isaac and Dakota met by chance at the pool, and then Dawn talked to Granny Debbie for the first time since Isaac was adopted. The boys had already seen each other and liked hanging out, so Dawn and Debbie agreed to let them keep spending time together. So, the two began spending time together often. The two boys are reunited and it feels like they were never separated. Isaac and Dakota were similar in how they looked and acted. They also liked the same sports and video games. They liked to wear similar clothes and hairstyles. But the most important thing was that the two boys loved each other like brothers. Isaac was surprised to learn that he was adopted, but he was pleased with the way things worked out. He said to Today that he kept crying for a long time. I felt really good when my brother was born. I always wanted one. Then the news was put on YouTube and lots of people watched it, almost 8 million. Soon, the two brothers were always together. Isaac and Dakota had fun spending the night at each other's houses, riding bikes, and playing video games. After they met by chance, they also had the opportunity to have a joint birthday celebration in the months that came. They happily made plans to spend their next school breaks together. Their families also like seeing the boys meet again. Dawn told Today that they look like brothers. I've seen a very strong bond. They seem like they were always together. After not seeing each other for 10 years and living 20 minutes away, they were still good friends like before. This was like Isaac and Dakota's experience at the pool in 2012. They realized that family is important no matter what.